Welcome to Box Wine Therapy, where the wine is cheap and the therapy's priceless.
We're two best friends, a couple of moms, and professional oversharers here to spill the wine and real life. I'm Kayla.
I'm Hannah.
Now let's get it started.
Welcome to Box Wine Therapy, everybody. Today we have our special guest and friend, first guest of the pod,
Yeah.
Coreena Ferrata. She is the owner and operator of Coreena's Bridal in College Station and Georgetown, Texas. She has been in business for 8 years. She started at just 26 years old. She has since blown up in the bridal market. Welcome to Box Wine Therapy, Coreena.
You. Happy to be here.
We are so excited to have you. We actually both have our dresses from Coreena's Bridal on.
That we bought back in the day, and they
Yeah.
aren't clean. And I just knew when we got ready that she was going to see that. And she literally walked in the bathroom and said, "If you guys want to leave those here, I can clean them for you." I'm like, "Yep, sorry, I did not purchase the bag that you should purchase to send it back and get your dress preserved. A nice preservation kit."
I didn't do that either, clearly.
I waited 3 years to do mine, so that's totally normal.
Oh, good.
Oh, we're on pace then. We're
Yeah.
about to hit our 3-year anniversary, so
Mine is only 1 year.
only one.
I know, isn't that crazy? It feels like longer in a good way.
Yeah.
Feels like forever.
But we tried them on today, and we were so thrilled that they still fit. Hannah.
Fabulous.
I was 5 months pregnant or 5.5 months pregnant when I got married in Montana. And so I have some extra baggage here, and that's just from there. But I was like, what if I put this on and it still looks pregnant? And I was like, that's not going to be good. But it fit, and there was extra fabric, so I felt fine. So here we are. And I still had some twigs from Montana stuck in my
Very nice.
dress. A nice little memory.
Yeah. What makes shopping at Coreena's different than another bridal shop experience?
So you guys kind of both know a little bit. So we have, the drink menus, the more than just champagne. Everything's complimentary. I don't
Yeah,
know if
full-blown
really,
cocktails.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't
They
know
do
if
help
any,
make decision.
yeah, I don't know any other place that really does that. We have, special uses of technology to help you see the dresses as you're trying on, so you can compare your favorites and see the backs of them a little bit easier.
Well, that was so
Um,
cool. So
yeah.
they put like a picture up on a screen so that if you think like, "Ooh, I loved this dress," you can kind of go back to it or keep it up as like the inspiration photo, if you will.
Mhm.
And I feel like that was so helpful.
Yeah, I
For
think it
me.
really helps when you have, like, top 2 or 3, and then you can, like, look at them side by side and then, narrow it down from there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then I feel like we also, we try really hard to train our stylists so that they are very knowledgeable in all things wedding dresses, so, not every place has kind of the same in-depth training that we give our girls.
Mm.
The in-house alterations is really nice to have, and, we do something really special at the end of the appointment, but I don't wanna give away all the
No, I was going to say,
secrets,
don't give that away.
so
That's the best
but if you
part.
book your appointment with us, you'll see.
What does training look like for a new staff member? Like, how long is
Yeah.
it?
So it's about a month usually
Wow.
from hiring before they're taking their own bridal appointments.
That's why
So
they
there's
seem so educated.
yeah, there's a lot of shadowing. And then we really want them to feel comfortable before, they just are kind of on their own.
Yeah.
But even when they do start taking their first brides, I'm always there or our manager's there to kind of be there with them.
Oh, cool.
So I worked for Coreena for like a year and a half, probably year and a half. And it was super awesome. But yeah, the first time you sit down to take your own bride and do your first interview with them, because we have a set of questions that we're just like, we know in our head of what to ask, how to ask it, what details we want. And then the first time you sit down, it's like,
Go blank.
so you're here to buy a dress.
So now I don't know if we did this when you were there, but they usually have like a sticky note with them with bullet points in case they do forget something, so they can kind of go off of that, make sure they don't miss anything. And then even in the training, we'll do like 1 or 2 fake appointments with like a fake bride.
Oh,
And
smart.
I think that's actually scarier than the like what
The
you're
real
saying.
one,
Than
yeah.
when the first real bride comes because I'm actually just sitting there grading them essentially, and they really freak out about that. And then
Yeah.
usually they do better when they're there with the real bridal appointment.
Well, that's even better. Get the scary bad one out of the way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I just would write down like fiance's name, types, things like that. So I would have something to look at. So if I did hit a
Mhm.
spot where I was like, sorry guys, my brain is blanking today, then I would
Yes.
have it and I'd know. And I don't think many people know this, but you actually started wanting to be a designer yourself and
Mhm.
then switched to bridal. Tell us a little bit more about that. How'd you go from designing to owning?
Yeah, so I wasn't very girly growing up. So I'd never thought about wedding dresses before I got engaged. And so that's kind of where the interest first came in into play. When I was looking for my dress, I really had a hard time finding anything that I really liked. And I had a very specific vision and it just didn't exist. So what I ended up doing was purchasing a dress somewhat similar, and then basically creating a whole new dress and alterations.
Oh, wow.
It was about $1,000 of alterations, but it was
Oof.
worth it. But the dress was a little bit under budget, so it kind of evened out.
Oh, that's cool.
And then after that, people were like, "I had never seen a dress like this before. Maybe you should do this, more
Yeah.
seriously." And there was other ideas I had, so I really wanted to see those come to life, and I don't sew. So I found a seamstress that we partnered with, and she would take all my sketches. I would provide the fabrics, and she would create them from scratch. And so
Wow.
I was doing that for a few years after graduating A&M, and M, and I was still bartending, and I was doing it for like family and friends, but it just wasn't like a full-time career.
So you never went to, like, a fashion school or anything?
Nothing.
Because I didn't know
Nope.
what you studied at A what'd you study at A&M?
Psychology.
Which is kind of
Which is good
helpful,
for sales.
actually.
Good for
It's
sales.
kinda
Yeah.
helpful. And employees.
And
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yep.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah. So she's also knowing exactly what you're thinking and how to handle
Yes.
it.
She's analyzing us right now.
Yeah. Crazy.
Crazy for being feeling
Oh, yeah.
so lonely.
That's the song. That one.
Okay, so this was, like, actually exactly how it happened. So, I was just sitting on the bed one day, and Nick was in the bathroom getting ready, and we were talking about this, and I just said, "I don't know what I'm gonna do because this just isn't, like, a full-time career, and I just don't know any contacts in the industry." And he was like, "Well, why don't you just open a bridal shop?" And right
You're like,
away,
oh,
I
like,
was
it's
like
so easy.
Off the riff.
I was like, "No, I wanna design my own dresses. That's not what I wanna do." And he was like, "Well, this town doesn't have any, and you clearly, it would get you in the industry. Maybe you would get to
Yeah.
meet some of the connections." And one day, my hope was that I could maybe get back to the designing part of it,
Cool.
which that's not really still
I was gonna say, do
Oh,
you still
really?
feel
yeah,
that?
I don't think so because I didn't anticipate having multiple locations
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
So now it's more
Now
like,
your
well,
passion
let's do
lies
another
differently.
store. Let's do another store. If anything, I would do that. I just don't think I have the time or the drive anymore to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
And I do have some designers. There's one that is a couture designer that we are her only store in Texas, and
Haley Page?
Vanessa Alfaro.
Oh,
I
Vanessa
wish
Alfaro.
you know, there's a few stores.
Yeah.
But she has told me, she's like, if you want to send me your sketches, I'll make them.
Wow. Oh, that's
That's just
cool.
on me
Wow.
now. So I'm
Mhm.
just like, if I ever have the time, maybe
Right.
I will. But
If.
You
Make
gotta
it
make the
happen.
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe one day that would be really neat.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm just focused on running the stores.
How did you even start with the business? Like Google? Because
Business.
what year did you start?
2018. I did look at like some blogs and stuff. Obviously how to write a business plan. So that's step one
Mm.
with any business.
Mhm.
So I had like kind of a template for that. And then it was about a year planning to narrow down like just the designers. Probably just
Wow.
narrowing the designers about 8 months. I just wanted to make sure we had the right ones and a right mix. And then, opening up conversations with them and seeing if I'm eligible in this territory and kind of all of that. So
And you're talking designers of the dresses.
yes.
So did you reach out to them and say like, "Hey, I'm opening a store." How did you I mean,
So
I have so many questions.
you're not treated the same way by all of them. So there are some
Really?
that are like, "Well, we're not gonna talk to you until you have a physical location."
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't buying or renting a place that existed.
Yeah.
So I had a feel, and
Wow.
I just had like the plans to show them like, "Hey, we're building this currently. I'm
Yeah.
gonna need to order the dresses before the building's done." It takes about
Inventory
8 months.
before the door opens.
Yes, it takes a long
Wow.
time. So then there were some brands that are like, no," like wouldn't even
Wow.
talk to me. And then even going to Chicago the first time, we'd already been open a year, and just trying to walk into somebody's booth. I won't say the designer, but it was the same one that wouldn't talk to me before, and
Huh.
they were like, "You can't come in here without an appointment."
Wow.
Like, I'm shopping, I have a store now,
Yeah.
but they just really rubbed me the wrong way, so
Do
and
you
I
do you sell them in your store?
no, 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 no,
That's
never
right.
will, never will.
Blacklisted forever.
Yes,
You're like,
yes.
"Nope, wasn't good enough." And now there are designers that literally name their dresses after Coreena.
Gosh,
What?
Multiple.
that's so cool.
Cool.
Yeah, multiple have.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the few that haven't, I'm kinda like, "Hey, when are you gonna do
Excuse.
this?"
Yeah.
You know? You're the only one left.
I've got some ideas for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
When you're ordering, do you have to meet a certain number of dresses from
Mhm.
a certain designer? Like, what does that process look like?
Yeah, so there are minimum orders, and it depends on the designer. Some
Mm.
do twice a year, some do once a year. Some designers have high minimums and some have low. It just kind of depends on what their restrictions are. And
Mhm.
if you don't meet those minimums, they have the right to just leave you and sell with a different store.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Oh, wow.
yes,
Jeez.
yeah, but we never have trouble meeting those minimums because there's usually
Yeah.
more than I want to get, than just the minimums.
So another cool thing that Coreena does at her shop is all her dresses have names. They are all female names. So as a stylist, when you're learning the different gowns, you go through and they'll be like, "Oh, can you go grab Alessandra? She's on the shelf over there. And can you go grab," and they each have a different name, like Bethany
Oh.
and
Yeah.
what was this one's name?
Oh my gosh.
Flo
Hold on.
Something with an F or something like
Francois. Woo.
Francois?
Yes.
Oh,
I got
Who's
scared for a
mine?
second.
Who am I
Or
marrying?
Francis.
Francis.
Francis,
I'm like,
that's
it
what
was
it
a
was.
girl.
We had another Francois. It's
Okay.
Francis.
Okay.
And yours is Pia.
Pia, that's
Yeah.
right. I feel like I remember hearing
Yeah.
that.
Cute.
Yes.
Cute.
Yeah, so and that way it's nice because when they're in the store, they can't just go Google the dress somewhere because they don't know if it's
Oh, yeah.
Pia, you know?
Right.
Right.
And not in a way of whatever, but also if your stylist is taking the time to be your stylist, show you the dresses, the last thing that we would want you to do is Google that dress, be like, "Well, I could drive an hour and find it for a little bit cheaper," and then
Mhm.
you just wasted everybody's time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why? People do that.
Yeah.
That's not proper etiquette, okay? Don't do it.
Yes. It's not very nice.
Well, and you get so much more out of, Karina's experience and
Right.
Exactly.
everything.
Yeah,
So,
it's
But,
more than just the
there
gown.
are gonna be
yeah.
people that, like, use you for the experience when they know they're gonna buy online, and that
Ugh,
does happen, but
yeah.
part of the process. But, we also have a brand now that's a signature collection just for our store. And so basically what that means is they don't come with names, but that way I can kinda name them whatever I want, and,
Cool.
yeah, it's kinda fun.
Do the brands name their dresses?
They do.
Oh, I
Yes.
thought that was a you thing that just you
No.
came up with. You're so smart.
That's a lot of work. I don't wanna name, like, 200 dresses.
Like you just Google
Yeah.
names of
I'll
women
be
and just
running
keep
out
it
of names.
line by line
Yeah.
going down.
Yes, exactly.
What are the best parts of running a business, particularly a bridal business? But what's been your like best parts and then your most unexpected struggle?
Okay, so that's a good question. So, I would say one of the best parts is like seeing my employees grow. I've had so many girls that I've hired that were super shy, like I was, kind of still am, and they like just to see them really come out of their shell in this job, and it just yeah, it's so fun to see how much that they grow and how much they learn while they're with me. And then it's really cool when they go to their next job and they're like, I learned all this stuff already because of you. This is so great, especially when it comes to like sales and things like that. So that's exciting. And then for bridal specifically, I mean, it goes without saying, but like being a part of, their most special day for
Yeah.
our brides, that's really awesome. At the end of the appointment when they're hugging us and they're crying or they're leaving reviews and naming their stylist by name, it feels really rewarding. And then as far as the struggles, honestly, because it's kind of the same thing is like managing employees.
Mhm.
No question. That is an unexpected struggle, but when we opened this business, I had never managed people at all. So, you can do all your research and do everything right in the business side, but then like just having happy people and, managing drama and things like that. It's a lot.
Which I will say when I was there, I was shocked at how little drama there was. Like, I thought I was coming in I was the oldest grandma coming into work there. I'm older than Coreena, and so I was like
Barely.
it's still I was like, "I'm older than the boss. I'm older than all of the girls who work here in college." And I was like, "Okay, well, they're gonna be like, 'This grandma, stay away.'" And they were all like, everybody was so nice, so sweet. There was no cattiness. Everybody just did what they were supposed to. You have a chore list at the end of the day of everything that has to be done. Everybody just split it up, and then you become a second family, no matter the
Mhm.
age gaps or age
Yeah.
differences. And whether that's like texting Coreena, our own boss, to be like, "Hey, you wanna go get drinks tonight?" to I went out with the college girls a few times and, whew, you gotta be prepared. You
You're
gotta
better
be
than me.
careful.
Oh, goodness.
And I think I did it one time fully and was like, "Wow, that hangover was probably not worth it." And then a few times I was smarter, and when they were doing shots, I was like, I'll take a water.
Yeah.
Granny can't hang today, guys." But no, everybody became a complete second family, and
Mhm.
even, like, one of the girls we work with, I was just invited to her wedding, and I haven't seen her since
Oh,
we worked together, but we've chatted here and there and talked and stuff, and I'm like, "See, how cute is this? Like, we all
yeah.
still love each other."
Yeah, I think, like, we really try to look at their personality when we're doing interviews because everything else can be taught, but I really wanna
Mhm.
make sure that everybody clicks really well and
Yeah.
that they all get along, and it makes my job easier at the end of the day too, so everybody's happy.
Have you ever had somebody that you wanted to hire, but felt like they weren't the right fit for the current group of people you had, and were like,
Oh.
"Maybe if we
Yes.
get somebody a little more of this personality, then I could hire them, but as of right now, I can't take them."
Maybe not the second part, but definitely I have had some that I'm like, "They'd probably be good at the job, but I don't know if they would, you know,
Click with these
click."
people.
So it's just yeah, not gonna work out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
She hired me right away. Didn't have
You
to think
started
about it.
taking bridal appointments and memorized that a month earlier after a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because and
You're still the fastest, I think.
I didn't know it was a whole month, and I had done this before. I had worked
Yes.
at a David's Bridal back in Minnesota for a while when I had first started, and then she was like, well, maybe it wasn't Coreena, but somebody had said, "Yeah, training's typically a month." And I was before you take your own brides, I was like, "A month? But I already know what I'm doing." I was like, "Do I have to take a month?" And she's like, "Well, we have, uh, you have to go through this kind of training, and then we have the fake brides, and then we have
Mhm.
whatever." And I was like, "You just wanna see me do one?" And
Put me in,
I
coach.
think when I was shadowing one of the girls, she was like, "I'm cool." I think it was Kat. I was shadowing Kat or
Probably.
Ashley, and she was like, "I'm cool if you wanna just, like," or maybe she didn't even tell me to step in, but I was meshing with the bride really well. And, some people, it's like, kind of like, you're not everybody's cup of tea,
Mhm.
and it wasn't that case. It was just I don't know, I was vibing very well with this person and, like, cracking jokes and whatever. So then I think at that point, she was like, "You run with this. She loves you. Run with it. Keep going."
Yeah.
She's like, "I think you're gonna be the person who makes this appointment for her. It's not me. So I'm
Cool.
gonna stand back and let you do it." And I was like,
That's
"Okay,
awesome.
cool." And then she told Karina, she's like, "So she's ready. Like, she
Yeah.
did my whole appointment for me. She's good to go." And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So 1 week, and
Yeah.
I was
And then
doing
I
it.
think we came to a situation too where we were like short staffed as well coming up. And so I was like, you know what? You're just gonna do it.
Yeah.
You're doing it. So
I was like, "Great, throw me in, coach."
it
So do
was great.
you pair brides with stylists? Like, do you match
Yes.
personality kind of things,
I
or
do. I mean,
If
obviously,
you
I
I suppose you
don't.
know.
don't
Yeah,
know?
I don't usually know the bride's personality, but sometimes I might, and if I do, or a lot of times I at least know their entourage size.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, worst case I can say like someone's bringing 10 people. I'm not going to give it to a brand new
Or
stylist,
somebody
Yeah.
who's super shy
someone who's quiet. Yeah, and going to
because
get run over.
it's
Oh,
So
not just
yeah.
working the bride, you also have to know how to handle the family.
So
yes.
what's the ideal amount of people that a bride could bring?
People who don't give
Should
their
bring.
opinion.
Wait, yeah, I was going to say,
So it's more like who
what do I
versus
recommend or what?
yeah.
Okay, I would say probably no more than 5.
Yeah, okay.
I'd recommend. But we don't limit group sizes at our store. That's another thing
Really?
that makes us different than anybody else, is we did wanna design our store in such a way that they can bring as many people as they want, and I don't want people to feel limited. So,
I
Yeah.
think the most I ever had was a group of, like, 15.
What?
yeah,
Yep, and
we've
they
had
had
that.
matching shirts.
We've had
Oh,
people
that's
show up in a
cute.
limo.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
party bus
fun.
people.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's cool. I
yeah.
mean, sometimes you wanna make it a big deal
Mhm.
and show everybody your whole experience.
I
So
did
that's
it.
cool.
I was that bride. I
Yeah.
brought 7 people all the way to Dallas because there were no stores here, and we went to 5 stores in one day.
Oh,
You're
I
like,
would have
"You're
hated
along
you
for
as
the
a
I
ride."
friend.
was
I
the
would have hated
worst.
you. I was
I
like,
was the
"You
worst.
need to feed me, coffee me,
Yeah, they were
wine me."
so tired.
I
Yeah,
bet.
it was
Ugh.
whatever. They loved me.
In one day.
One day. And then guess where I bought my dress?
Online.
No,
Oh.
not online.
Houston.
The first store,
Oh,
just like they
yeah.
always do.
You've had some really big name designers who've actually either held trunk shows and come with them or just come in general, such as Randy Finoli from Say Yes to the Dress. I remember he first came like a few months after I was done
Oh,
his first time, and I was like,
man.
Karina, do you need me just for that weekend? Like, I'll come in. But that's really cool.
Wait, did you meet him somewhere and then he's like, "I wanna come to your shop," or how did that
He
come
was
about?
at Bridal Market in Chicago, and so we picked up his line, and then we were like, "Well, now that we carry your stuff, like, you need to come." So,
Cool.
yeah,
Just
kinda how that
shoot your
happened.
shot and it
Yeah,
it
yeah,
worked out.
yeah.
Who are some of the favorites that you've had in store or met personally at market? And who would you love to have back again?
Well, obviously, Randy, for one, and he is coming back October 18th and 19th, very
Oh.
soon in a few weeks.
Do you have
So
appointments still available?
absolutely, we do. And they can be
Yay.
booked online or by calling us. We charge a $100 appointment fee, but it goes towards your dress purchase.
Cool.
But that's
Yeah.
to make sure that you have
That they
It's
show up.
and that they're a real
that
bride.
they're a real bride.
Yeah.
You're not just gonna spend
Because
$100 just for a meet and greet.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, you might,
But at least you made $100 off.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's cool.
And then other favorites, I would say Haley Page, who is now back in the
Finally.
in the industry.
If y'all don't know her story, you need to
Yes.
look it up. She was on Jason Tardick's podcast, actually,
Oh.
talking about it while she was still in the legal phase of everything. She lost her rights to her own name as a designer after she already had a brand because the contract and how it was written. And she fought and spent so much money for years to get
Mhm.
she couldn't even have a Facebook page with her own name.
She lost her Instagram. That was her personal account.
Yep, she lost everything
And,
because of this. She could
for
not
5
use it.
years.
Yeah. Wow.
And she won now after all of
And
that.
she finally is designing again. I saw you just got to go to one of her shows.
Yes, her, like, launch party of her coming back.
Where was that?
Palm Beach.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
So it was awesome. It was so cool and prettiest runway I've ever seen. She had like turf down and then real flowers lining both sides of the runway. And it just
Really?
smelled like a garden in there. It was so cool. And so
She designed shoes for a little bit,
yes,
actually, when she couldn't design wedding gowns anymore. She went into is she still doing
she's
her
still
shoes?
doing shoes.
Cool.
I have 3 pairs, I think.
What was her brand name of the shoes?
Cheval. They're
Cheval.
called
She is
She is
Cheval
yeah.
Cheval.
was
Yep,
her Instagram. I was like, "Wait, I
exactly.
followed her." Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And she doesn't come to our store, but she, has FaceTimed with our brides before all this happened.
Really?
A few brides that were saying yes to her dress and things like that. So
Oh,
she's
how
been really
special.
nice. Yes, it's real. Our brides loved it, and it was really nice of her to do that. And I think her fiance's family lives in Austin, so she does
Oh.
go there. So I am working on it. The next step will be to get her to come to one of the stores, probably the Georgetown store.
Cool.
And so yeah, that's kind of a goal of mine.
Cool.
You talked earlier about wanting to open up another location potentially someday. Do you have any locations in mind that you'd like to be?
Not right now. We were in the process of opening a third location, I think in 2023. And so that we had signed the lease on a place. I had ordered the inventory
I was
for
wondering.
that store and the building never got built.
Oh,
And so my inventory, it had been so long. It was about 2 years almost. Maybe this is 2022. It was 2 years of waiting
wow.
after signing that lease. And my inventory expired. Like they discontinued dresses. And so it really hurt us.
Did you
And
have to bring those dresses down and
I had to sell them here at the other
at your other
stores,
stores?
but I had, like, duplicates. They were just duplicates of everything, so, it was a long time to sell all that, and it just we didn't have that kinda cash flow to just buy a whole other extra set of inventory, so
Yeah, and then
and
cut it
then not
and
have that
take a
revenue.
price cut on everything. Yeah.
Exactly, yes, and so that was rough, and, we were finally able to get out of that lease because nothing had happened. I think finally now they have built it, but, I couldn't wait any longer,
Yeah.
so,
No.
and that was gonna be in McKinney, but now since that happened, I was just focusing on recovering and getting our business healthy before
Trying
taking
anything.
another leap, but,
Yeah.
maybe in the next couple of years or so, there would be somewhere.
If you could open one place in any location anywhere,
Question. I
where would it
have this
be?
place all ready to go.
Really?
I love Athens, Georgia.
Really?
Super random.
I
I
could
know.
see that.
I went there for a football game for A&M a couple years ago, and
Whoop.
it's kind of like College Station in the fact that, like, you have to fly into Atlanta and then you gotta drive, like, 2 hours, so it's not ideal to travel to for me, like, to have a
Yeah.
store there because it's not easy to get to.
Yeah.
But it is the cutest town, and they didn't have any stores. I think all they had was, like, a David's Bridal,
That is
and,
so funny.
yeah, I was like, "I would love to just
I
move
thought for
here."
sure you were gonna say Mexico.
I mean,
Really?
that would be cool. I don't know what the market would look like there, but
Mm. She loves
yes.
Mexico.
I would live in Cabo. I want to live in
Really?
Cabo.
Wait, we've never been to
Yes.
Cabo, and since watching Laguna Beach back in high school, we've always said we want to go to
Yeah, you
Cabo.
need to go.
Still on the
It's
list.
such a short flight, very affordable.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yes.
Tulum in February.
And
Never been there, so that's exciting.
it's so cool. Love it.
If you could go back and give 26-year-old Coreena any advice, what would it be?
It's a really good question. I would say trust the process and it'll all be worth it. There are definitely times where, it's not always easy, even when whether it's just, the employee drama or having a customer that's not the nicest or slow times in business. There's a lot of times that, you lose sleep at night stressing about things. And I would just say, like, to stick with it because it is going to work out and it is going to pay off in the end.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that. What are some trends that you're seeing in this upcoming bridal seasons? Because you're buying
Uh,
for
We're buying for
spring.
spring 2026.
Okay.
And a couple of them have already started coming in the store, so a little early.
Ooh.
We're definitely seeing the basque waist, still. What that means is just it's a little bit dipped. Okay, so basque waist, and then
Dipped in the back.
dipped in the front. So it's
Okay.
almost
Across
like
the-
it's not straight across. It depends.
We'll
Sometimes
have
it
to
is.
Google it.
Yeah,
I think I have seen it. I feel like I'm gonna totally throw it off, but like Bridgerton kind of style,
probably. And
where
I
they're
think it
like,
all actually
dipped.
stemmed from that, to be
Yeah.
honest. Yes. So definitely basque waist and then Chantilly lace, like your dress,
Oh.
coming back.
so
So
trendy.
when we first opened, it wasn't very popular, and then it became this huge trend the last couple of years of just clean, simple dresses. And now finally we're breaking away from that a little bit and we're seeing some Chantilly lace. So I'm very excited to have lace coming back in because I'm a lace girl. I think bows. Bows are still really
Really?
popular. Yes.
Who's your favorite celebrity wedding gown in the last 5-ish years?
I'm the worst, you guys. I'm not with like
Not the up.
pop culture. Yeah, I like don't follow. I'm hardly on social media. Like I'm trying to think if there's anybody I can even think of that got
Alex
Who would
married.
you
Cooper?
pick?
I don't know who that is. That's what I
I
Sorry,
never
call
saw
her daddy.
mean. This is what
I
I
never see anybody's wedding
don't see
dresses either. I don't know.
anybody's.
I wanna say Demi Lovato had a really great one, or maybe it was that people didn't expect it to look like that for her. I don't know, y'all.
I don't know what it looked like.
Paris
I'm
Hilton's?
excited to see Taylor Swift's, I'll say that.
Ooh,
Oh,
that'll be
yeah.
Yeah.
good.
What do you think she would pick?
Yeah,
Like,
if you
what
had
would
to
you pick for
guess.
Well,
her?
I could see her as a Haley Page bride for real.
Oh.
And I don't know if y'all, like, follow Haley Page or anything,
Yeah.
but she's been coming for Taylor pretty hard.
Really?
Has she?
She did a custom sketch, and it was, like, for Taylor Swift, and she tagged her in it, and she was like,
Cool.
"Everybody tag Taylor."
That's
That's so
cool.
smart.
Yeah.
I was gonna say one thing that I've noticed for celebrity brides in the last year or 2 that have been surprising for me is people such as Alex Cooper, who have millions of dollars, are going with the most understated gowns.
Oh.
They're doing, like,
Mhm.
um, like a satin or something plain. There's no lace, there's no sparkle even. They're
Yeah.
like
So just like a timeless piece.
Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
and they're not like ball gowns either. I think Alex Cooper's was a ball gown. Um, oh, hers was just a strapless. And then I wanna say it had that kinda waist that you're talking
Yeah.
about where because I was like, "Wow, that drops really low on her
Yes,
hips,"
it's
but
lower.
or maybe she had just a super dropped waist on it, but it was just satin and timeless, and I was shocked. You would just think, "Well, you guys for sure are gonna have, like, oh, we've got these diamonds
Yeah.
actually hanging off of my gown," and they've all been so timeless and
Yeah.
so simple, simply elegant. That's
That's
how I'll put
been the
it.
trend,
Mm,
definitely.
interesting.
When should brides actually start shopping for a dress?
About a year out. I mean, it depends on what kind of bride you are. So if you think you're gonna be going to several stores and you're gonna need some time, to think about it after shopping, maybe a little bit sooner, but pretty much about a year out.
It was so frustrating because I worked there right after COVID or at tail end of COVID times,
Yeah.
and with COVID, people did not understand that
Man.
especially with COVID, it took a year to get these because if things were made in another country or China, to get them made with all the worker shutdowns and
Mhm.
everything, like, it was and the shipping delays, and it was
Mhm.
putting things so far out, so it would be so stressful, and we've had brides come in I still work there. We've had brides come in that are like, I think I had one that said she came in on a Wednesday or Thursday. I think she was a call-in emergency bride and said, "I'm getting married this weekend, and I haven't found a dress yet." And we found her one in store.
Wow.
So things can be done, but
Yes,
please don't do
always.
that.
It's just less stressful for yourself if you don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done that quite a few times.
Yeah. And they can sell dresses off the rack
Mhm.
if it's like you
An
explain.
emergency.
Yeah, like
Yeah, usually,
not
well,
all you will, but
what was that?
you wouldn't sell all off the rack necessarily, but
Mm, mm,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I
Alright.
mean, I will, even if it's not one even if it's one I don't want to sell off the rack because it's brand new or it's a bestseller or something, I still will.
Mhm.
I'll work on replacing it or something like that. But we have had, we typically don't sell it off the rack if it's more than 2 sizes too big. But I say that, and we had a bride a few months ago who was getting married in a week. The dress she wanted was about 4 or 5 sizes big, and it was fitted, clean crepe dress. So that's a
Oh, wow.
lot of work
Yeah.
and a lot of room for error, and our seamstress pulled it off. It was
Awesome.
amazing.
Do you have just one seamstress that works for
We
each
have
store?
3,
3. Oh,
and
that's
only
great.
all at College Station. We don't have in-house alterations in Georgetown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Will they send them to College Station or no?
Sometimes, but I mean,
Probably
we
mostly
work
not.
with a seamstress there who's really good. We have a couple that we refer them out to.
And I was gonna say, you still have to show up for your appointment and get fitted and stuff, so it's not
Correct.
easy to do
But we
that.
do have brides that drive here if they wanna do custom stuff that maybe the seamstresses there aren't comfortable with, because our team here is really good.
Yeah, they actually fun story, when I bought my dress, I was not pregnant. The wedding was planned, the baby was not, and I had joked with Coreena and them like, "Oh, if I got pregnant, like, oh, we'll just throw some elastic in the waist and call it good." And then, of course, I picked a fitted gown, which I did not think I was gonna pick one quite so fitted, and I fell in love with this one, and then it was just a few months later that I found out I was pregnant, and I was like, "Oh, shit." I am going to be nearly 6 months pregnant at the wedding. No, and I was like, and you start alterations like 3 months before is
Yeah,
typically
typically, yes, unless you're pregnant.
unless you're pregnant, and thank God I worked there too, so I was able to be like, "Okay, guys, I need to get checked." Oh, and I think at that point I stopped because and at one point Karina was like, "So when are you gonna be done working for us?" And I was like, never? What? You don't love me anymore, mom?
Well, didn't you move to like in August and then
We
your wedding was October?
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
hadn't moved yet, and
Right.
we didn't know for sure if we were moving that way.
Oh.
And she's like, "Hannah, like, you're already starting to show. It won't be long before your back is hurting.
Yeah.
You can't be on your feet throwing 10-pound gowns over
Lifting.
people's heads
Mhm.
all
Yeah.
day. Like, this job is gonna be physically a lot for you." Which
Yeah.
she's like, "I'm not saying you can't if you want to, but I've noticed, like, it's already hurting your back or it's this,
Yeah.
like, maybe it's time." And I was like, "No." No, I don't wanna.
I'm gonna stay
But
here forever.
I know.
Yeah.
So I was just, like, freshly out of there, but I was able to come in for my alterations and, oh, it was so stressful, but I was like, "Well, can't you just put some elastic cut the sides, put some elastic panels in there?" I was like, "I don't care if
I'm
it
like, "You should know
shows
this
elastic."
stuff."
And she was like, "I am absolutely not letting you throw elastic panels in the side of a gown
No.
and telling people that came from my
No.
store.
Yeah.
Will
No."
not be doing that.
So, yeah, so my seamstress, we had to order extra fabric,
Mhm.
and then they had to order extra lace underneath. They had to do extra paneling built in to, like, fit my belly because we didn't know for sure how big it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that was
And
a
I
little
remember that,
stressful.
like, you were unsure if you wanted to order the extra fabric. And I'm like, "Well, the thing is, it takes months just to get fabric in."
Mm.
So I'm like, "We have to kinda get it whether or not we know we're gonna need it, just to have it, because we can't wait till the last minute and then it won't come in time."
Yeah, so my
It was
alterations cost a lot more than I planned on them costing. At first, I was like, "Oh, just a little hem here, a little maybe a dart in the
Mhm.
boob to hold it up a little better. That's
Yeah.
it. I won't need much. Fits like a glove."
Yeah.
Till you get pregnant.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't. But no, they killed it, and so many people were like, "Wow." Like, I didn't know they could make a couture gown to, like, fit like that on a
Yeah.
Yeah.
pregnant body, and they
Yeah.
did.
It looks
Mhm.
so good. You guys should
Oh,
talk
put it up.
about, like, your experience, like, your shopping experience.
Oh,
So, you know what's funny? So, when I was shopping for my dress, that was the only store I went to, which was good.
yeah.
I love
And
that.
it's so funny because I went in with an idea of what kind of dress that I wanted. I knew I wanted the sweetheart top, and that was pretty much the only thing that I went with, I guess. Well, actually, too, because we talked about it a little bit on I think the last podcast. I have an ostomy bag, so that was a big thing where I needed space in my abdomen to be able to like flow or whatever, but I didn't want it too poofy. I was breastfeeding, so there was
She
all
still
of
wanted to
that.
look
We're like,
sexy in her dress.
yeah. So there was all that kind of stuff. That's what's kind of fun. My favorite part of it was going through the store and then just like picking each and any dress that you wanted to try on that
Like, if
made
you
you
just think
think.
it's like, or even it's pretty on the hanger, but I
Yeah,
don't think it would look good on me.
you never know.
Or vice versa, because
Yeah.
some things have zero hanger appeal. Trust your stylist, because we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember, going on the rack and I just kept looking at this one. And Hannah, you were near me
Yeah,
and you
it was
saw me looking and you're like,
it was slightly over your budget.
yeah. And you're like, you should just try it on, just to see.
Yeah.
And when I came out of the room, I was like dancing. I'm like, this is the one.
Yeah.
I feel so confident in it. It's great. I just love it.
And then
Yeah.
there are things that you have to think of too about dresses and, like, how you can shape the cost. So, how I justified it to her family
Mhm.
was, "Okay, listen, this one compared to the other dress she's looking at, the other one has a horsehair or no, the other one had, like, lace on the bottom, I think."
Mhm.
I said, "So, they will have to cut off, re-stitch those lace
Yeah.
patches onto every inch that they trim around the bottom. Then she's gonna have to have X amount cut off." And so I'm like, "This one."
It like fit me pretty good off the rack to begin with.
Yeah.
So really there wasn't a whole lot of alterations at all.
Yeah, I was like, "You
The
might need some
length.
darting in the boobs, but
Yeah.
otherwise just the length." And if
Yeah.
you know that there's just 3 inches, get a 3-inch heel.
Yep.
Could do that.
Or the bottom of her dress is tulle. So you're gonna be able to just cut.
Yeah.
They
A
can do a
much more
straight
simple hem.
So
straight
easy.
cut, and they don't have to do any sewing. So
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
gonna be the most simple, cost-effective way to do that. So therefore, you're technically
Yeah.
saving money, girl math.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really equaling out to about what you would
Yeah.
spend.
Exactly.
And luckily I have the best husband in the world because I text him and I was like, hey, it's a little slightly over the budget. And he's like, if it's the one, it's the one. And we can
Aw.
find a way in our other wedding budget to trim.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
that's
it was
so cool.
great. Oh, I love this dress. I always tell Keith too, I'm like, you know what? Let's go every year on our anniversary. out to dinner and I'm gonna wear my dress and people will think that we got married, but nope, I just wanted an
You'll get
excuse to wear
free
it
drinks
again.
sent to your table.
Yeah, exactly, you know?
You're like, you need to rent a tux. It's gonna be worth it.
Yep,
Yeah.
Our bill will
exactly.
get paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get the honeymoon suite.
And then
Nope.
my experience as somebody who's worked there, I already in my head thought I knew which one I wanted for a long time because the stylists get to try on dresses and
Oh,
kind of
yeah, you
play
got to, like,
sometimes.
model a little bit
Yeah.
for
Yeah, and then
the
you
Instagram
also
or
get to
something.
try you get to try them on because it's nice for us to also see how they feel
Yeah.
because then I know what boning feels like and how it's gonna feel when you sit down. Or
Oh,
a dress
true.
like this is gonna be
Yeah.
tighter on your hips, so you gotta
Mhm.
make sure you're okay with that and ask the bride to go sit and see if they can stand, sit, eat a meal.
Mhm.
Does
Yeah.
that matter to you? Some brides are like, "I don't care if I can't have a sip of water." They're like Kim Kardashian
Yeah.
at the Met Gala.
Yeah.
They give 2 shits.
Yeah.
Like, they do not care. And
Yeah.
then you got brides like me who are like, "No, I need a full meal." And I was pregnant,
Yes.
so I was like, "Mm-mm, I'm gonna eat 2 meals." Like, I need to have space.
Put
Yeah.
that elastic in my
Can I get
side.
a little more room in there? I'm gonna be hungry. So I had already tried on a lot. And then all of a sudden, as it was coming time, more dresses were coming out and I could see things up and coming. And there was one that I thought, this is gonna be it. And I asked Coreena, I said,
I remember.
can you please order this dress in for me? It's
Yeah.
gonna be the one. I just know it. And I had my headset on that and I was like, oh, I'll try on like 4 or 5 others. I literally only invited you.
Mhm.
And then we Zoomed with my mom
Yeah.
and my other best friend. But I was like, I don't need a million opinions.
Yeah.
Plus, I've done this before, having been married before. I was like, I know how stressful that is when you invite too many people to the kitchen and every chef is trying to tell you what to do. And
Mhm.
you're like, no, I literally told you I like this. And luckily, I have a very good backbone and a very
Yeah.
good way of telling people nicely, like, no,
Yeah.
this is what I'm choosing. That's enough talk now.
Yeah.
There are a lot of brides who don't. And so I was
Mhm.
like, I'm just gonna have you guys. It's not gonna be a big shebang. And the girls who I was friends with that were stylists, they came and they were watching too. And then we get there and I try on the one that
Mhm.
I think is gonna be it. And I was like, this is so uncomfortable.
Oh, no.
That matters.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
the stiffest and it wasn't but it was structured. That
Yeah.
was how
Mhm.
the dress was supposed to look. And for me, if I had 8 more inches of spine like Kayla has and torso, it would have been perfect. But for me, I have such a short torso that like
Yeah.
when I bend, my hips and my ribs
You're just
touch
digging in.
and the boning was
Yeah.
cutting me like so hard. And I was like, I'm so
Mhm.
sorry, Coreena. I know you ordered this one just for me to try, but I don't like it. It was beautiful. Like if I was standing
Yeah.
just to take a picture, would have been it
Yeah.
100%. But there was no way that I could wear that. And especially, I didn't even know I was going to have a growing belly. So good thing I didn't pick that one.
Yeah.
That one would have
For
been impossible
for real.
with how structured it was. It would have been damn near impossible to
Yeah.
make that after I bought
It
it.
at least wouldn't have looked the same.
No,
Right.
not at all. And so after that, I was like, kind of defeated a little. I was like, well, what am I going to do now? And they're like, you got to try on a long sleeve because you're getting married in Montana. But I
Mhm.
was like, no, I don't think so. But fine, I let them talk me into it. I was like, fine, grab one long sleeve. If I had to pick one, it'd be that one. And it was this one. And so I tried this one and then this other one. And I loved them both so much. And I was torn. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, we're going to get you back into them and we're going to have you walk out. And so I came out in the other one. I was like, yep. Or no, I came out in this one first.
I don't remember.
I think I came
I
out.
don't remember.
So it had been one of the first few. And then I came back out in this one and I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh. And I just started crying. And they're like, you love it? I was like, I love it. This is the one. And I just watched the video the other day again. It was so funny. And it was like, oh man, I didn't think this was going to be it, but I don't think it's the other one. And looking
Yeah.
back at them, the other one was definitely more of like if I was getting married in New York in a
Mhm.
fancy ballroom, that would have been it. And it wasn't a ball gown, but it was just like the way the beading was and the lace
Mhm.
and everything. Oh, they're like, that doesn't fit Montana. That doesn't fit Glacier
Didn't you
National
try it
Park.
on with, like you had a coat or something, right? Didn't you
Oh,
try
yeah,
it
yeah,
on with
yeah.
Oh,
them?
yeah.
About a super fancy Western jacket that looked like Yellowstoney
With a
and
fur
with a
hood.
fur. Yes,
Very
honey.
cute.
Yeah.
It was so cute.
Yeah.
But that's how I picked this one. And then I cried and it was the one. And
You
thank
gotta cry. I feel like that's the
Oh,
stamp of
yeah.
approval.
And also,
It helps for validation, but not
Yeah.
everybody cries.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the other thing. Some people are like,
Yeah.
aren't I supposed to cry if it's the one? And I'm like, do you cry at
No.
everything? They're like, no. I'm like, well, then
100%.
no. Or the people that are like, it can't be my first dress.
Mm.
It can't. I just know it can't. I'm like, no, actually, it can. It can literally be the first dress at the first place, but I'm going to help you try on 5 more. And then I'm going to re show you how this is the
Yeah.
one. We all see it. You just
Yeah.
but it's a big purchase. It's an investment,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's hard to feel comfortable with, especially if you're somebody like me who's cheap all the time, then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, I'm not buying a $200 dress off a website," which no shame if you do that, but, once I realized, like, "Okay, I'm gonna come here and buy a gown." Once you accept that, then you're gonna be good, and some people have no problem. We had some people who were like, "Well, daddy said just don't spend over
Yeah.
10,000."
Those are the nice Did he buy my dress too?
"What's daddy's credit card number?"
You had mentioned before about people's opinions, and I was trying to think too about your employees.
Mhm.
What if you have a mom that's like, "Nope, don't like that," or is, like, so opinionated? Do your employees do anything to kind of,
Yeah.
safeguard the bride?
Yeah. So we're lucky enough to have the fitting rooms a little bit separated from their appointment area. So we are able to have those kind of private conversations with the bride and kind of get their feedback on what they want us to do or how they want us to get involved. And so what helps a lot is like if the bride is changing in the fitting room, maybe the stylist comes out first and will tell the group or the mom or whoever, okay, so she really loves this one, to like
Yeah.
set the scene before she comes out and they just shoot it down right away. So that hopefully, and it usually works,
Yeah.
And
hopefully
and you
they're
can tell
considerate.
if it's a very opinionated group
Uh-huh.
and, they kinda get back in the room, that's also your job as a stylist is to become their best friend. Your
Yeah.
job is to be their best friend and their wingman right then and there, and if you sense that, like you can read people's body language.
Yes.
It's not hard to see that, oh, when their mom said that, their shoulders shrunk
Mhm.
Mhm.
and they kinda bent down a little. It's like, "Oh, well, I liked it." And then you go into the room and you're like, "So if it was between this one and this one, which one are you leaning toward?" "Well, that one, but nobody else liked it." "No, no, no, no.
Yeah.
This is your gown. They
Yeah.
aren't wearing it."
Yeah.
So and then you
Yeah.
can kinda work through that, and like Coreena said, that was my thing that I would do big time was if I had a super opinionated group, I would go out and
You did it with
I did it
mine.
with yours, go out to the people and be like, "Okay, they love this dress. They're
Mhm.
gonna come out. I need everybody oohs, ahs. We love it. You look fantastic." Like,
Yeah.
so
Because she
Yeah.
does, I'm
oh,
sure,
every time.
Yes. One of the things I like to say the most is like, she's glowing in this one. Something
Yeah.
where they can't say anything against that. They can't be like, well, I don't like that.
No,
Or,
she's not.
well,
Yeah.
but she is. So it's like, yeah, so that's a good thing to use a lot too.
Oh, yeah.
I'd bring up like, "Look at that smile.
Yes.
That smile is ear to ear. Like, I
Yes.
haven't seen you smile this
Mhm.
big.
So it's less about pointing out features of the dress, but more so about pointing out her
Oh,
reaction to
Look
it.
how
yeah.
happy she is. You aren't gonna tear that down and
Yeah.
shit on it."
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's hope not. Goodness.
There have been people, but
Yes, but
for the
usually
most
that
part.
that kind of shuts them down.
Talk a little bit about size inclusivity. Do you have which I already know this, but for the listeners,
Yeah.
do you have gowns that range in sizes, or are they all sample sizes? And if you're a more to love type of body, is there gonna be something for you to try on?
Absolutely. So sample size just refers to the size of that particular dress we have hanging in the store. Usually we have one of each dress. So we kind of get a variety of sizes. I feel like we start around 6 or 8 and then we go up to 28 in store. And bridal sizes are weird. 8 would be 24 in streetwear.
'Cause I always felt like, "I'm a what?" Whenever, bridesmaid dresses
Yeah.
or wedding dresses, I was like, "Just don't tell me the
That
size."
that's correct. Yes. And Haley Page, when she had her collection before, it was 3 sizes. So it was very
What?
confusing. Uh,
Like small, medium, large?
So no, like 3 sizes off of streetwear.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, "She only
So
offers 3 sizes, you better
Like
fit."
but we would have some people who had body issues, and they're like a
Uh-huh.
size 4, 6, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Okay, I'm bringing a 10. Oh, this
Yeah.
fits you perfect." They're like,
They
"No,
freak
it
out.
doesn't." And
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
like, "It is not the same. I
Yeah.
I know.
promise you." And they're like, "Why would bridal sizes
I
make you feel
know.
big?" I'm
I
like, "I
know.
don't
I
know, but
know.
that's how they do it, okay? Like,
That's
just
literally
trust this.
Yes.
Don't even look at the size if it's gonna bother you."
Yeah.
I always love to just show them the size chart so they can see the actual measurements, and I'm like, "Don't pay attention to the number
Yeah.
because this is just, the number in bridal, but
Yeah.
for this particular size chart, but it doesn't mean anything."
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was funny for me was always getting girls who were so small and petite and perfect bodied, and they'd come out in a fitted gown and be like, "Ugh, I just see this right here. I'm just staring at it." And one day I had a girl cackling because I looked at her, I said, "Your uterus?"
Yeah. I
She goes
remember that exact moment.
she
I was
looked
like,
at me, she's like, "My what?" I said, "Girl, that's a uterus. That is your uterus hanging out between your hips. Like, sorry you have one. I don't know what to tell you, but I see nothing. That is just the shape of the human body." And she was like, "I've never thought of it like that." And I was like, "Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
fat. You can't lose that unless
Yeah.
you get a hysterectomy. You'll be okay. It's
And your other
beautiful."
organs will probably fill in anyway,
Yeah.
I always thought
Yeah.
removing my large intestine, I would be like, washboard abs, but now everything else was kind of fills in.
I remember I asked, how much weight did you
I
lose?
know, right?
You're
And I'm like, I gained weight because I was so sick before. So
Yeah.
anyway, tangent.
Another good thing to know is, especially so I personally have, with I said with the short torso and the curvy hips and stuff, I was like, there's no way a designer gown is gonna look good on my body. I just know it. And so many people think that too. No, I'm a chubby girl. It's not gonna look good. Baby, designer gowns, they are built for chubby, curvy bodies. They have the boning, they have the structure, they are stitched so well. It's not gonna rip, it's not gonna pop. It's gonna hold you in, suck you in. And also you don't have to another good note is when you try on dresses, they might put you in a size 16 and they're gonna clip it. And it's all how you clip the dress. A properly trained stylist can clip the dress perfectly to still make it fit your body well so you can get the exact idea of how it will look on you. So
Yes.
don't worry if you're like, well, your store only has a size 10 in this. It's okay. We can either strap it so it's open in the back, but you still get to see how it looks on you. Or there's been people we've literally held the dress up in front of
Yes,
them.
I was gonna talk about
Oh.
that.
And as a worker, we'll get
Yeah.
behind, hold it around them, and duck
Yes.
behind for a picture so you can't see us holding the dress onto them.
Yes, we've done that, and now we have, like, to kinda go all the way around, so,
Oh, yeah,
like, we
yeah.
can just kinda paste it to the front of their body. We've had brides buy dresses that way. We had one, I think the sample was an 8, and she ordered it in a 20, but she couldn't put it on, and she just had it on the front, and then when it came in for the first time, it was so exciting because it was the first time
Yeah.
she could ever put it on, and she still loved it. So
What are some common misconceptions that brides have about the wedding dress shopping process?
So I think the 2 major ones are that you can't find your dress at your first store. So we hear every bride who finds their dress says the exact same thing. "I didn't expect to find it today."
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
had 2 more appointments. What
"Well,
do I
you were
do?
shopping, so what are we shopping for?"
We'd literally be like, "We will call and cancel it for you. Do you want me
Yes.
to?" They'd be like, "You will?" Absolutely.
Yes.
I won't tell them you're here. I'll just call and cancel.
Yeah, I mean, even the next store doesn't want
She found it here. Yeah.
Beat you.
Sucks to suck, nerd.
okay, not quite like
Just
that,
kidding.
but
Karina would never approve that
would
phone
never. Yeah, even the next store doesn't want, someone coming in if they've already found their dress somewhere
Yeah.
else. So, yeah, sometimes they might waive that fee, but we also take it off of their dress purchase if they're concerned about that. But then, yeah, they all say the same thing, they weren't expecting to find it. For me as a bride, and a lot of our brides have the same thing. For me, it was I went in thinking that I didn't like lace, and then I ended up loving lace. And so I have a lot of brides who I would say 9 out of 10 ended up liking something that they didn't expect they were going to like. And so it's really hard for a lot of them to wrap their head around that when they're like, I don't know if I could say yes because this is so different than what I was picturing the whole time. Kind of like what you were saying with yours. But that's what we're there to help
Yeah, they
you
don't
with.
trust themselves
So
with it at
yes,
first.
yes. But we know when it's the one because there's several signs that we look for when we know it's the right dress.
What is the range of pricing in your gowns? And then what other costs would someone expect to pay?
So on average, we're about 1,500 up to around 7,000, and majority of them are between 2 and 3,000, I would say. And then for extra costs, I mean, alterations is going to be the main one, but that isn't until, like you were saying, 3 months before the wedding or the
Okay.
wear date. So you have a little bit more time to save for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do payment plans or anything like
We
that for
do,
people that are
yeah.
more
So we do
budgety?
offer 50% down, and
Okay.
that allows us to get the dress ordered or to put it on layaway if it's an off the rack. And then they have 3 months to pay the rest, and they can split it up however they want. They could do two
Cool.
halves, or they can split it into smaller payments.
Okay, we have some fun rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
Favorite wedding movie?
Hmm. I really like My Best Friend's Wedding.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's one of my favorite
classic.
movies ever.
Lace or satin?
Lace, 100%.
Veil or no veil?
Veil,
Heel or flats?
flats,
What's your go-to celebratory drink after a long day at the shop?
prosecco.
Ooh, nice. Good celebratory
What if
drink.
you're taking a shot?
Tequila. Or a pickle shot, but tequila probably.
That was also a nice way to end the workday. Karina's the end of a long, busy day.
Yes.
It'd be like 4 of us left. We'd be like,
Mhm.
all right, ladies, pull the liquor out of the freezer.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes, that was a nice way to celebrate something special we did.
And that would be typically how we would be like, we should go to the bar after this.
Yes.
That always started that conversation.
We have one girl, I don't know if you worked with Nadia.
I did, yeah.
Okay, so she is just like that all the time. So if she has like a sip of alcohol, she's like, "Hey, what are y'all doing tonight?" She's like, "Let's go." I'm like, "We're just taking like a shot. That's all."
She's like, no, but we can't just have one.
No,
Like,
yeah.
Now it's time to party. Nadia's stunning, by the way.
Yeah.
Stunning. I mean,
Yeah.
every girl who works for you is like, they are so beautiful. I always
Yeah.
look at their pictures. I'm like, You look like a model.
We're never short on models at the
No.
store.
No, never. Well, thank you, Coreena, for being our
Yeah.
first guest. Hope you
So
loved it.
honored. Oh my gosh, I can't believe y'all asked me to be first.
Tell them where they can find your stuff.
Oh, yes. So Kareena'sBridal.com. We have all of our inventory there. Follow us at Kareena's Bridal. And we're always posting our new arrivals.
And they have TikTok, Instagram,
Yeah.
Georgetown store, and College Station.
Cheers from our chaos to yours.
And just remember, you're doing better than you think you are, and you're probably funnier too.
Bye.